Hey, welcome back to the Your Sorority Journey podcast. You are catching us at the first episode of our annual mini-series Recruitment Takeover. This week, our resources are focused on our potential new members who have a lot of questions about recruitment, what to expect, what the process looks like. And so on the podcast today, we're talking about what to wear and how to pick out your outfits for recruitment. We get a lot of questions about this on TikTok, on Instagram, on our different social media platforms about how do you know what to wear for your specific campus and community to each round of recruitment. And I think this is a really interesting question. What do I wear? And I think it's actually getting at a bigger, deeper question of how do I show up as someone who can belong in this community? And so I want to answer what do I wear in recruitment in a couple different ways. First, talking about does it matter what I wear to recruitment? And then why do we care so much about what we wear? Finally, how can we trust the process while getting excited about the outfits that we choose for each round of recruitment and showing up really confidently? So, first of all, let's talk about does it matter what we wear to each round of recruitment? You're gonna get this a lot in this episode. Yes, it does matter, and no, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about both. I think it does actually matter what you wear to each round of recruitment, but not because of the kind of clothes that you wear, how expensive they are, the brands, if you match or look like the recruiters or other potential new members, but instead of how the clothes that you wear, how you style them with your personality, and how much you like impacts your attitude, your mindset, and your openness to have conversations throughout the round. I think that the clothes that we wear actually play a big role in how we show up day to day. If you think about a trip that you were planning on going to recently, you probably took a lot of time to think about what you were going to wear each day of that trip to make sure the attire that you were going to wear was going to match the activities that you were doing or was going to look cute in photos, right? Or was going to go with other things that your family or friends were wearing, right? It was going to match the vibe. I think that's why it does matter that we take time to show up and present ourselves in a certain way because it impacts the way we emotionally show up in conversations. And I do think that the way we emotionally and energetically show up in conversations does dictate where we find our home in our sorority communities on your campus. But I don't think it matters what you wear in the sense of the kinds of clothes that you wear, the brands, aligning them to look like other people, or really being influenced even what your roommate or an older sister, or maybe even what you see on TikTok as things that you should wear for recruitment. I think it matters what you wear for recruitment because it matters that you feel your most confident. What I tell both potential new members and recruiters before recruitment is that you should do everything in your power in the morning to feel your best walking out the door. That's doing your hair and makeup in a way that's going to last, using the hairspray, using the setting spray, using your favorite shades, your favorite combinations of colors, getting your favorite outfits that you've already probably like pre-scheduled for each day of recruitment. And I think that's a good idea to just remove the stress day of or week of and to wear the things that you have thought ahead of time that you will be excited to wear for those different rounds, knowing that for most campuses, each round of recruitment gets a little bit more formal or nicer outfits as it goes on. So if you're wearing your Panhellenic t-shirt and a score on round one, then on round two, you might be wearing sundress. On round three, you might be wearing one step up from that, maybe a similar or slightly nicer dress in heels instead of sandals. And then on preference, you're wearing the nicest dress of the week with heels or whatever makes you feel the most confident. And the point is less so about making sure that those things fit a certain model or like stereotype, but instead making sure that those things fit your personal style and make you feel really excited to wear them as you leave, so that you don't have to think about how you look or make sure that or like double check if there's too much cleavage or if it's too short or if it's riding up or whatever the case may be, that you just feel your best leaving the house in it. We all know the outfits that make us feel way better than others. So it's important that recruitment, you stack your days with clothes that you know make you feel super cute, are super flattering, and just make you feel great about yourself. We all know how much a good outfit can change our outlook on our day and the things that we do in the day. We could be taking an exam, but because we have our favorite outfit on, it can like bring a different level of like confidence to the day. But no, it doesn't matter, because in the sense of your clothes dictating where you're going to end up throughout the process. I think it matters because it dictates how we show up throughout the process, that helps us really make intentional connections with those that we get to talk to every single day. And the last thing I'll say about why I think it does matter that we show up and present ourselves in the best way is because it's really respectful to the chapters, to the organizations who are taking the time to get to know you. In the same way that when you maybe interviewed for a scholarship or a part-time job, you probably presented yourself in a higher level of professionalism or polish than you would just going to class or on an average day over the summer, right? You probably picked out a pair of dress pants that you only bring out for interviews, right? That your parents got you a couple years ago before you had to go to a National Honor Society meeting or something of that nature, right? You got out the nice pants, you took a little extra time to curl your hair or put some makeup on, or whatever a step up from your regular day might look like, and present yourself as your best self to look really professional and less so about put together and more so that you put in effort to say, hey, I'm taking this really seriously. I think when we put effort in how we look and how we show up, it communicates a level of seriousness and intentionality that we are taking in the process that you want to make sure chapters know, right? You want the chapters that you meet to not think, oh my gosh, she's really cute and true to herself, which should be true, but also that she is taking this process really seriously, because that will convert to their understanding of your membership potential in their organization, right? If they see you as someone who is taking this process seriously, then they will also see you as someone who is going to take sorority membership seriously. And that is what you're looking for, right? You want to be seen as someone who is going to go all in, not just through recruitment, but throughout your sorority membership. So now that we've talked about why I think what we wear does matter and also why it doesn't matter, we have a whole bunch of inspiration photos on our most recent Instagram carousel for each round of recruitment. Also recognizing that your college Panhellenic is probably posting outfit guides. You can talk to your recruitment counselors about what they recommend per round based on your specific campus culture, knowing that every campus has different recommendations. My encouragement for you in that is don't dwell too much about what you do or don't have, right? I think utilizing what's in your closet already can give you a lot of confidence and help you also fall in love with the things that you have and the things that make you feel the most confident, being able to wear things that you're already comfortable in. But there's something to be said about the impact that getting a new dress or a new pair of shoes can have. So be able to weigh that, but know that you already have everything you need to be successful in recruitment. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to buy a whole new wardrobe for recruitment. Use as much of your closet as you can. But definitely, if it's going to make you feel good, buy a couple pieces that are going to be great, not just for recruitment, but also your college experience and beyond. I think it's now time for us to talk about why we care so much about what we wear. Why this is a question that her sorority journey gets so much from potential new members and even recruiters about what to wear and how to show up in recruitment. I think style is so personal because, in addition to our personality, before people even get to hear a word from our mouth, they are sizing us up to a certain extent based on what we wear, the kind of person that we are, the kind of energy that we give off. And so I think that's why we care a lot about how we show up and what. And along those lines, because it's so personal, I think it is also an element that we want to hyperfixate on because it feels like something that we can control throughout a really uncertain process, right? Going into recruitment is really vulnerable. You have admitted, you have put out there that you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You want to be in a sisterhood. You want to be in a community of women that is empowering one another and encouraging one another. But for whatever reason, it feels like you have to go through this super competitive process to find yourself in that supportive network of rock star women that you have heard so much about, that you've seen so much about, whether you've been thinking about joining a sorority for a couple years or just a couple weeks. It's a vulnerable thing to go through this process with what feels like not a lot of variables within your control. It feels like you're putting a lot of yourself out there. So I think we hyperfixate on what we wear and how we show up. And even throughout the day, even throughout a round in between events, we can go to the bathroom and check what we wear or ask the person in front of us or behind us or our recruitment counselor if we still look okay. And I think what that does is try to give us a sense of validation in a process that feels really invalidating, right? Especially when we come back to a round, as many of you might, to be disappointed by the list that you have back, that maybe you don't have as many chapters back as you had hoped, or that a lot of the chapters that, or you only have a couple of the chapters that you were really hoping to have back, or that one that you were really excited about hasn't asked you back. Whatever the case may be, I think we can often come back to what we wore the day before or what we are wearing as contributors to what our recruitment process looks like because it feels like it's something that we can control. What I want to encourage you in is that even though recruiters may be getting their first impression based on what you wear, how you present yourself, how you show up in those conversations, the things you have to say, your interests, the things that you get excited about, the questions that you ask in rounds are 8 times more important than how you just presented yourself in the room. Who you are is so much more than just what you wear. That yes, you can care about what you wear because I think it contributes to how you show up and your ability to have conversations and be really confident and undistracted by your appearance because you have done everything on the front end to ensure that you feel and look your best so that when you show up in a recruitment round, you are able to have really engaging conversations that showcase the entirety of who you are, not just how you present yourself on the outside. To be a little vulnerable, my second round of recruitment, it was philanthropy round. I came back to a full schedule. I got my top 9 chapters back on a day that I could have gone to 9 chapters. I went to the 9 chapters that I had selected on round 1 that I would like to go back to the next, or maybe it was like 8 out of the 9, something like that. But I still went to 9 chapters that round and I felt so good. I had so much fun in all the philanthropy rounds. I remember like dancing, walking into different chapters rooms, like having so much fun talking to the recruiters about their philanthropies. And I didn't think twice about what I'd chosen to wear that day. I felt so great. But when I showed up for Sisterhood Round and I had only been invited back to 2 chapters on a day I could have gone to 6, all I could do was criticize myself for choosing to wear white jeans instead of maybe a skirt or something a little bit more cute, more fun, a little less professional. I think I'd worn my glasses on round 2 as well instead of contacts. And I just spent so much time picking myself apart for how I presented myself the round before. But to jump to the end of the story, I ended up getting invited back to a chapter that has changed the course of my life. So much so that it's given me opportunities to stay involved in the sorority community and cultivate this passion to be an advocate of the sorority experience. And so I want to encourage you that while you are in control of what you wear and how you show up every day, It requires you to trust the process and recognize that the factors that are outside of your control are also working in your favor to ensure that you will end up in the best sisterhood for you, that you might not even see throughout the process. And yes, while you have control over what you wear, what you say, the energy you bring each day, there are other factors at play, other people making decisions that see you, the whole you, not just how you show up and what you choose to wear, that are going to ensure that you end up in the sisterhood that is best for you, that you might not even see at the time. And while we want to control a lot of things through our sorority recruitment process, there are some things that we just have to have open palms about and recognize we don't know all the facts. We don't have the full scope of understanding, and we have to let the process work itself out. And what you will hear super often from your recruitment counselors is trust the process. And you're not going to want to. I didn't want to trust the process. I had a really invalidating process. But my encouragement to you is to not take it as personally as I did. Instead of when you are disappointed by a list, criticizing yourself, have more questions, more curiosity than I was able to in my experience. Go into the rounds of the chapters that invited you back with an open mind and an excited attitude to see what sisterhood could look like for you in that chapter, instead of questioning who you are and what those chapters didn't see in you or didn't like about you. They could just have been pushing you forward to be in the right sisterhood for you by closing that door that maybe you would have rather closed yourself. Like any breakup, right? We want to be the ones to make the decision. But we don't have all the facts in this situation like we do in some more of our personal relationships. So we have to trust the other people involved. But trusting the process isn't passive. It's not taking a back seat and letting the process just happen to us. It's playing an active role and showing up as the best version of ourselves every single event to ensure that those chapters are seeing the full you, not just the you that shows up physically, but the you that shows up emotionally, and the way you contribute to conversations, the way you ask questions, the interest and curiosity you have in every round. So while my encouragement to you is to be true to yourself, that also means putting in some effort, maybe taking that a step up from how you would typically go to class or do other fun summer events or even college events, right? Show respect and honor for the organization while also relinquishing control over the process, controlling what you can control to show up as your most confident self, but not turning that to being hypercritical of how you show up, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. So balancing putting in effort and being so content exactly as you are will bring the energy that your future sisterhood is looking for. And so I am rooting for you in this. I hope this just brings a little relief for you as you are planning out your week of outfits. That yes, I think you should do that, but no, I don't think that that should be the only area of your time and energy in recruitment preparation. You are preparing to join a lifelong sisterhood, not a style club. So showcase yourself as you are, but let the process work itself out. We will have more resources for you in the next week on our blog and social media, so be sure to follow Her Sorority Journey for all your recruitment resources. Talk to you next time, sister.